foggy outside. It's a proper wintry morning. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're feeling okay, and I hope you're ready to get making with me today. Please drop me a comment. Let me know that you're watching, that you can see me okay, you can hear me okay, what the weather's doing. You know, the usual. Today I'm going to be making lovely little pendants with you. Now, I put these kits together, it feels now forever ago. We did shuffle the schedule around a couple of times because I wanted to make sure that we had all the stock in for you to choose what wire you wanted, and what beautiful gemstones. These gemstones are just stunning. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make something music inspired, hence why I've named them Melody. Now, I have done lots of different things before making like musical notes and treble clefs. I haven't got many of my examples here. I've just rooted through my little storage box and I've pulled a couple of music inspired pieces out. But what I often think is when I say to you all, we're going to do a wire wrap make, a lot of you will be a bit like, I don't want to do weaving. I haven't got the dexterity or the patience. So I thought I would challenge myself. I would try and do a little feature on these gorgeous stones using just one gauge and just one length of wire. So there is no weaving involved whatsoever. It's just a little bit of shaping. Now we've got some really good bargains on the kits today, and I think this deal will last. I'm pretty sure it's up to the end of October. And what I have, well, I've put the kits and the colours together, and then Simon's worked his magic so you can choose what you want. So you can choose the colour wire against the colour stone, and you can have them together in a little offer. So I'll take you over to the website soon, and we'll talk to you a little bit about the properties, because it's a really quick make. I had a little practice because I always do if it's something I've not made in a little while, and I must have done it, and it took me 10 minutes. I'll do it slower for you and talk you through, but we'll probably make a couple of them and I'll show you all these gorgeous stones. So before we do, I'm going to say a quick hello to everybody. I've got lovely Brenda in who's watching from North Carolina. She says it's going to be nice and sunny and 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that sounds lovely. Janice says it's a gloomy day in Swansea. All I need to cheer me up is Natalie's smile. Oh, thank you so much, Janice. That's kind of you. As you can see, I'm not 100%. I apologise for looking a little bit rough. Rach says, good morning, a grey day from Barrow. I've got the lovely Brenda in as well, who says, I wish I could send everyone some sunshine. Oh, that's the lovely Brenda who's watching from North Carolina, is it? Well, not to be smug, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this time next week, I'll be in the sunshine because it's my husband's 40th birthday. Fastly approaching. So we're going on our first family holiday abroad. My little one is so excited to be on a plane. I've got lots and lots to do. I've got to get the house sorted before we go because I've got a house sitter. I've got packing to do. I've got all sorts to do. But I'm so excited. So I'm not going to be back with you next week. I'm not going to be back with you until the 10th. And I'll show you what we're making on the 10th. I'm really excited. But don't worry, Totally Beads will still be here live on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday morning, thanks to the wonderful Kitty and fabulous Laura. So they're going to be looking after you. Well, I am sunning myself, hopefully. Carol says hello to all. Joy says good morning, Natalie. Dull here in Peterborough. I'll stop being smug now. No, I won't. Kath says good morning to Natalie and to everybody. Star says good morning to everybody as well. Camille says good morning. She says she hopes I'm feeling better with your cough. The cough's fine. It's the congestedness of it all, but my voice has come back. You'll be delighted to know. Anne says good morning to everybody. Denise is in as well in a foggy Coventry, so the fog must be all over the country. today. I think it's not breaking up anytime soon. Good morning to Mina. Hello to Elaine. Hello to Denise. She's saying hello to me and all the beading people. Trish is in as well. Tina says it's been raining in Austin, Texas. Mina's wishing me a lovely holiday. Thank you so much. Beverly is also in. She's hoping I'll have a lovely holiday. And Deacon Elizabeth Nikki is in. I'll give you your full title then. It says, hi everyone from South Wales. So is it foggy in Wales as well? I'm going to take you over to the website. These are just so lovely. I've been itching to do them for ages. We've got Hannah in our group. She's often very, very busy. So she's not always on a live, but you know, I was saying I've been making things and naming them after our lovely viewers. And although I've named this one Melody, I was thinking of Hannah because she's very, very musical. And I think this will be a real treat, a real nice gift as well for people, because they take very minimal effort. As I say, there's no weaving, no wrapping. It's just shaping that wire. Good morning to Facebook user. Hello to Joy. Thank you so much for your well wishes. She says, enjoy your holiday. You need it. I think I do. I think not just mentally, but I think physically I'm starting to just lack a little bit. I've still got my Halloween earrings in though, my little polymer clay bats, so I'm still going to be joining in the festivities, just maybe slightly in a warmer climate. I really hope so. If it rains the whole time, I'll be so sad. But it'll be nice just to have a minute, just to have a little catch up with family and spoil the husband who's very, very good to me. Good morning to Tina. How are you doing as well? Right, over to the wonderful website we go. Hi, Linda. I hope you're well. She says it's dull and drizzly here in Watford. It's smog. I'll need to acclimatise when I come back, won't I? It's going to be really, really cold when I come home. Hi, Anna. Oh, Tina says she's working on the hyacinth bracelet at the moment. Oh, she says you make it look so easy. Do you know what? This couldn't be any more simpler, and look what we've got. So here we are, totallybeads.co.uk. You can go into the video tutorial section. I like going on these big windows here so I don't get lost, because there's so much. This will take you straight into what we're doing today. The Melody wire pendant. Look at how we put the kits together. I just love them. So we say any two get 15% off. That's any two items. So you can buy whichever colour wire you want, and then your very gorgeous faceted flat gemstone nuggets. I love them. They're so lovely. So you're going to get 15% off if you buy two. You can choose as many as you want though. So we've got the copper wire. It's all copper wire, but it is plated in the most beautiful colour. It is a colour remain wire. This I don't think will come off at all, because it's really straightforward how we're creating these shapes on the front. So it is a kind of tarnish resistant wire. It will keep that lovely, lovely colour. I've even hammered some of this as well, and often when you hammer you put like stress. You don't have to hammer this, by the way, but for some of them I have, just to create a bit of a different shape with them. And when I have hammered them, none of that colour's come off. Now, if you want to, you could do something more elaborate in design. You could bead onto your treble clef. You could create different musical notes. You could add a weaving wire onto this if you wanted to. But I'm just using one length. And all I'm using is 30 centimetres, which is what, 12 inches. And you're probably going to have more than enough wire with that as well, depending on the size and the shape of your gemstone nuggets. So you can choose your light gold, your rose gold, which is a beautiful kind of pinky colour, and we've also got the silver for you as well. Each reel is just £2.50, so you're not going to be getting here just the 30 centimetres or the 12 inches you need to make one of these pendants. You're getting 2 meters there on your reel, so you're going to be able to make plenty. If you're buying two, as in if you're buying one wire and a piece of the gemstones as well, then you're going to get 15% off. I would suggest though, buy more of the gemstones, wait till you see them. We've got these gorgeous Amazonite ones for you. Now I'm going to click in and I'm going to show you. So instead of talking to you about the design, I'm going to talk to you about the stone, and then I'll show you the design down on the mat. It is a very quick make, so I think I can afford to take a little bit of time chatting that through with you. You can see here on the Amazonite, it's absolutely stunning. These are your dimensions for you. So you've got a hole, which is really large. You've got 2mm hole. It's one single bead that you're getting in this. You're not getting those 4 pieces. But I think it's lovely that we've shown you those 4 pieces so you can see the difference in colour. I've got 2 pieces here down on the mat, and they do look very different because obviously these are genuine gemstones. Every single one is unique and beautiful. So Amazonite is supposed to be good for luck and success and truth and hope and communication. It is your heart, but also your throat chakra. Anything that's got that beautiful blue colour to it is your throat chakra. So it's good for communication and truth, and that's the properties that are attributed to it. So its name's obviously derived from the Amazon River, but it's not found anywhere near there. It's found in Russia, Madagascar, Brazil, the USA, and it's a variety of potassium feldspar, if you want a little bit of science in there. If you want a bit of non-science, and you're thinking, well, what zodiac is this good for? Then it's linked with Virgo. Absolute beautiful kind of bluey green kind of tones on these, and you can see they are faceted, but they've got, it's not an overly shiny cut on that. It's just, it gives it a lovely shape, but it also gives it that flat surface on the front, so beautiful to create designs on that. They're perfect for beading around as well. So if you want to get some of these and you want to get more than one, you could do this design. You could create your own. You could do whatever you want with it. So £2.75 for Amazonite, and it's a big one. Look at that. 30mm, really beautiful. They do vary in shape and size though. They're all very unique. So I've got some which are slightly larger than others, but I think that's what makes this a lovely, unique design. Have I got any pictures of my designs? I've not, I don't think. No, he's just put the kits like this together. Okay, so what are we up to next? We've got this gorgeous pink tourmaline. And I really love these. Look at the colours on that. It's not pink, there's like purples and dark colours. It's just gorgeous. So this is meant to represent love and compassion. It's also a stone that's related to happiness. So it's got lots of virtuous elements, but the various elements that can kind of comprise this mineral, it's made of aluminium and iron, and obviously because it's made of various elements, it gives different colors. So the pink one gets its color from manganese, and that's what it's made up of. It's again linked to your heart chakra, and it's linked with Libra as a zodiac. You can find pink tourmaline in the USA, Brazil, Mozambique, Madagascar, and Namibia. So lots of wonderful places that you can find this gorgeous stone. And I am going to show you them down on the map because, oh, that is a pink, but it's a deep pink. I'm just looking at the one in my hand. They're absolutely beautiful colours. And I don't think the photographs really do show them justice, but if I hover over there, you can see those really deep kind of purpley spots in them. They're lovely, and a lovely size drill hole as well. So they lend themselves perfectly to pendants. They are £3 for you. Obviously, these will vary in price because, again, each one is unique and different. Okay, we've got the rose quartz, probably one of the most abundantly found gemstones and one of the most loved. It's linked to your, being the love stone. So friendship, kindness, self-love, relationships, acceptance and stability. But obviously it's got that very soft, beautiful pink colour to it. So it gives you a little bit of calmness and serenity apparently too. This is linked with your heart chakra. I've got lots of heart chakras for you today, and lots of Libra as well, but it's also linked with Taurus. It's found in North America, Madagascar, India, Brazil, lots of places, all around the world. Gorgeous stone. The ones that I've got down on my mat are much pinker than what's being shown to you here. Obviously, it depends on how it catches the light. This is just £3. Don't forget, any two, if you want to pop your wire in as well, you can get 15% off, and that's going to last up to the end of this month. Now, this one I think it's a current favourite for me at the moment. Blue lace agate. absolutely stunning. I think it's chalcedony and quartz, obviously creating this agate. It's just the most stunning, like sky blue pattern. Wait till I show you this one on the mat. It looks like clouds. It's just gorgeous. So again, it's like blow, so it's your throat chakra. It's linked with Gemini and Pisces, your zodiac for this one. And it brings apparently calmness, communication, self-expression and peace. It's found in Namibia, Southwest Africa, I think predominantly, but you can find it in Brazil, China, India, and the US as well. It's just gorgeous. Can't wait to show you this one down on the mat. I think, I'm obsessed with my gemstones, and I do follow, gemstone trends and things. I think I'd say blue lace agate is being very prominent this year. A lot of designers wanting to use it in their work, and I can totally see why, because it's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I've got to show you this one that I've got down on the mat. Look at the patternation on that. Also looks like you're getting like a little bit of druzy on that one. They're all going to be unique and different. They are £3.50, and that one is 35 millimeters. I would say that's a little. Yeah, it's one of the larger ones I've got on my desk. And then we've got the Madagascan rose quartz. Now, obviously, they've got all the same properties of rose quartz that I've just spoken to you about in regards to the heart chakra, Taurus and Libra, but it's Madagascan. So Madagascar and Brazil tend to produce the finest quality of your rose quartz. So it's very, very sought after. You can see here the colour is very different. It's a much deeper, richer tone of that kind of pink colour. Still represents your unconditional love. It's been mined since at least 600 BC. It's got deep associations with Hinduism and Buddhism, even the Romans and Egyptians as well. This one's £3.75. It's absolute bargain price. I'm saying it's a little bit more expensive. It's like 75 pence more expensive than some of the others, and it really is a very sought after rose quartz. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, your sizes are going to slightly vary, but it's just gorgeous. And you've got that. I love the fact they've got this flat top across them, the way they've been cut there. It gives your jewelry like a lovely kind of dimension, really. But yeah, you can still work so easily onto it. Again, if you want to do beading onto these or whatever you want to do, you can do whatever you fancy. And then lastly, we've got the pre-night. Honestly, wait till I show you. Wait till I show you the one down on my mat. It's got like these needle like kind of qualities running through them. Absolutely stunning. So I've frozen. I'm just going to leave you there till my computer catches up. I hope I'm not frozen on the live. So it's comprised of calcium and magnesium, I think. Yeah, it's named after the person who discovered it in South Africa, called Hendrik von Preen, and that he found it in 1788. It's linked with your third eye, solar plexus, and it is linked with Libra as well. There you go, I've moved. It's referred to as the stone of prophecy. So indigenous people of South Africa used to believe that it had those kind of magical properties almost, but it's the most amazing green colour. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm really excited to show you them down on my mat. So don't forget your kits today. That's £3.75, and they will vary if you want to buy them separately, but you can get the offer of any two with 15% off. So your wire is all £2.50, and you're getting loads of it, absolute loads for this design. So if you want to buy any of those extra, you might want to get one of each. I know I would, because each time I look at them, I decide I like that one best, I like this one best. So have a little look there. You tell me, what one do you like best? And if my camera starts working, I've just got a complete blank screen here. What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to try and go back into my comments and hope that it suggests that you're all still with me. Where are we? Where are we? Let me scroll back up. Who do I need to say good morning to? I have said hello to Tina. Rachel says she comes from a musical family on both sides. She can read music and sings in the local Furness Church's United Choir. Wow, how amazing! I've got a very musical family on my father's side. Well, yeah, I suppose I have on both, really. So I've got two twin cousins, and they play like big, big all sorters. And I've got my cousin who's their brother. He's the most amazing trumpet in lots of bands. They all used to play for the Liverpool Philharmonic. My little one has joined a band, and he's singing. It's very, very sweet. Musical ability, I can't read music. I've done a little bit of singing, do a lot of singing in the shower and around the kitchen, but I wouldn't, I did do musical theatre, but I don't think anyone wants to hear me anymore. But I like doing it. I like singing. My voice is my instrument. Joanne says, good morning from a foggy Coventry. Debbie says, I forgot you on this morning. Well, here we are. Thank you for joining us. I think Mina's been making a bracelet one at a time. I'm not sure what one you're making. If you're having any trouble with one of them, do send us a message, and I'll do my absolute best to kind of help you along with it. Sylvie says, good morning all from South Australia. Daylight saving is messing with me. Finally back on time. Oh yeah, the clocks will change again, won't they? Wonder what day that is. Is it Sunday? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to get with it. Oh, I miss me plane. Camille says she's going to watch up on catch up, but she hopes that I have a fabulous, well-deserved break. And she's going to see us when I get back. And she's saying, take care, everyone. Hope you have a lovely morning, Camille. Joanne says, I gotta love a bit of blue lace agate. Yeah, completely agree. Facebook user says, oops, very late this morning. Hi, Natalie and everybody. Joanne says, of course, she's still here. And Yolanda says, good morning. It's 5:20 in the morning here in Michigan. Ready to get this 11 hours of work over with. Oh, Yolanda, I hope it goes quick and well for you. Okay, so Debbie says it's Saturday night into Sunday that the clocks change. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, they don't do it on a Sunday, do they, in case it catches anyone off on a Monday if they work. Oh yeah, Rachel's clocks go back on Sunday. Yeah, so it'd be the Saturday into Sunday. Mm-hmm. I'll get with it. I'll get with it eventually. Right, okay, let me take you down on the map. All my comments have completely just disappeared. So I'm hoping that Facebook and YouTube keep playing along with me. Okay, so these are both Amazonite. So you can see how different in colour they are. This one is a much kind of deeper, richer colour. This one is still a very beautiful kind of softer greeny blue, but you can't really see it as much. I've pulled the wire back down one of them that was the one I was playing about with yesterday. So there's different ways to do these designs, but I just want to show you the difference in tone there. Every single one you get is going to be completely different and unique. Your pink tourmaline is this one. If I can hold this up, can you see the pinks in that? Oh, it's almost like a purple, like a rich heather colour. Absolutely gorgeous. So there's different ways of doing this. I've got it so it's not really, there's nothing on the back of it. I added extra onto the back of this one just because I was making a little swirl at the top there. They are so straightforward to do. This is your rose quartz. They are much pinker than they're showing here. Absolutely gorgeous. That lovely drill hole running right through the centre there. Mina's replying to Joanne and says, I've not bought any, but I think I might now. I don't know whether it's this that you're talking about. She has also kindly shared the link for you today. So if you're wondering where to find your kits for these lovely that should be melody wire wrap pendants. Someone's typing very fast lately, aren't they, on the links? Melody. So there's the link for you today. This one is your Madagascan rose quartz. So let me show you the difference. So I've put this with the rose wire. You can see here, this one I've hammered, this one I've not. Can you see how it changes the texture a little bit on the wire to flatten it out? I put this one with it just so you can see like slight difference there in your Madagascan rose quartz and your traditional rose quartz. This one is your blue lace agate. Look at the band running along there. And again, I've hammered that, so I've made that a little bit flatter. Look at this one. This is the one I'm just excited to show you. Are they not clouds in a sky? You've got like a little kind of druzy bit in there as well. Absolutely stunning. Look at it. So this is a natural druzy. Don't think, oh, there's a big chip and a hole in my stone. It's not. It's like a natural pocket of like shiny little cluster crystals, which is just going to give you a little extra bit of sparkle. I just love it. It's just gorgeous. And then you've got your prehnite. Look at the inclusions in that. Absolutely stunning. And I've put this one with the kind of light gold champagne coloured wire. You can put it with whichever one you want. I'm not dictating that for you. So in terms of a few pieces I've made previously, this one's Amazonite. I made like a little, I made this forever ago, a little treble clef with some little beads in and tried to make like a little musical staff. I've done like guitars and things like that, little basses. And I wanted to do something something musical, but also really straightforward and really, really simple. Joanne says it also looks like there's a face amongst those clouds. It's so lovely. Okay, so let's get going. Let's show you how simple this is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of my stones. I'm going to go with... We'll go with the blue lace for now. But look how different, they are in terms of size and shape. Yolanda says, Michigan time falls back on a Sunday, November the 5th. Extra hour of sleep. Really like those stones. Thank you very much. Christine's asking, can we have a tutorial for the guitar? This was just me playing about, Christine. I'd need to sit down and work out what I did when. And to be honest, I probably want to improve it. We could, but it would probably take me a lot longer than an hour, Christine. So these are going to take you 10 minutes. Now, if you want to, you can draw your design out first. So let me just pop this here. When I say draw my design out, I would decide which way round I wanted my stone. I'm going to go that way. And I would decide which way I wanted it. And very lightly, I'm just going to draw around it. Now, the only reason I'm drawing around it, you don't have to do any of this if you don't want to, but it's just to get a basic idea of what my size is going to be. I usually do this freehand in terms of making. I don't often draw it out, but if I can show you, it's not something you're going to be able to make all your treble clefs with as you go, because each one is going to be slightly different. So what I want is I want the curl of my treble clef kind of started in the middle. I want the top of it to go up to the top of the stone, and then the bottom bit to come round the bottom of the stone here. So you can draw it out and then you can use your wire to kind of trace it along if you want to. And as I say, the only reason I've done that, if I can show one, this was my Amazonite one that I practiced last night. It's just for me really to get an idea of how big and whereabout things are going to want to be. But you don't have to do that. You can just do it by eye. So I'm going to get stuff everywhere there, but I'll just leave that there. So I'm going to, where did I say? I'm going to have it this side, aren't I? I'm going to take my wire I'm using the 0.8 wire. I'm going to do this one in silver, and I'm going to cut 30 centimeters or 12 inches of my wire. I'm just using one gauge, and I'm just using one length. It couldn't be any more straightforward. Now I'm going to start off by just straightening my wire while it's on the reel. So I'm just running that through my nylon coated pliers. You can run it through any wire straightener you want, or you can run it through your fingers in a cloth just to get any kinks out. And I'm going to cut my wire off my spool at 30 centimeters, about 12 inches. That's going to give me more than enough to play with. And I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to start curling this part in here. So all I'm going to do, again, you can lay it against your paper. You can keep using that as a little guide if you're drawing. You can print one out if you want to print off your treble clef. I'm just going to start curling that round. So I'm using, let's get in shot. I'm using my round nose pliers just to curl that edge. If you want to get a perfect curl, you can just trim off a teeny tiny bit, like a millimeter of that inside of that curl. And I'm going to curl it in so it kind of touches itself. And I don't want to have this spiral fully closed. I'm just going to use my finger and my thumb just to start shaping it like so. So I'm starting to make this little bit here essentially. Once I've got what's going to be kind of the center of my treble clef, I'm just going to move that wire around, and I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to see, well, whereabout do I want it? I want that bend to be at the top round about here, and I'm just going to bring that wire back round down here. Now you can bring that wire underneath at the moment, so it's going underneath that curve, and you can also pop it against your stone just to check if you need to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit tighter. Again, I'm going to put against my stone and think, well, where do I want it to finish? Around here. So I'm just using my eyes, using my stone, and then going to make a little curl. So I'm going to hold my round nose pliers. In between that, I'm going to bring that wire all the way round. And just have a play with your wire. You're getting loads on your reel. So, you know, if you make one, you think, don't like the shape of that, don't like the look of it, just do another one. So again, I'm going to place it next to my stone, check I've got roughly around the right size. Again, if I want to make any adjustments to it, I can just bring that down and reposition it with my fingers. So I've got my lovely treble clef. I do think that might be slightly big, but it's okay. Now just before, or just following, sorry, this little round bit here, I'm going to bend that wire back. Now I'm just doing it with my fingers. And I'm going to slide the wire through that lovely drill hole in my stone. And then I can position down flat my treble clef. If I want to reposition, just going to make sure that's a bit more lined up there. And if I bend this wire at the back, that's not a problem. I have done it there. I can just straighten it out with my pliers. Now, if you want to, you can weave that on to kind of hold it in place, or you can now just take, before we join it to the stone, that wire, and just position it so it kind of comes around and back between the little spiral in my treble clef. So it's now kind of holding that in place. So I've got my wire, got my shape, whatever shape I'm doing at the front, running through the hole in the drill hole and back up the top. I'm now going to take this wire, still one length of wire, and I'm just going to bring that through the loop that I've made at the top of my treble clef. and I'm just going to bring it through with my fingers. So I'm holding this shape of my treble clef through, just against the stone there, holding it in place. I've made it a little larger, but it doesn't matter. And I'm bringing that wire through it and back up. If you want, you can then use your pliers just to straighten that out again. So I've got it like this, and that's holding my stone in place. I'm then going to bend that wire back a little bit. And again, I'm doing it all with my fingers. You can do it with your tools. And I'm just going to put a little bend in because I'm going to make a wrapped loop. Now you can see I've used 30 centimeters or 12 inches of that wire, and I've got loads to play with. So I can make spirals, I can make designs with it. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, or if you wanted your bail step pliers, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to position that. I think I'm going to use, in fact, I'll use the round nose. I'm going to bend that forward a little bit and then reposition my hand so I can start to make a little wrap loop. Now you can change how you want your bail, which is going to be this part, to sit. So if you want it to sit this way, going across, you can do, and you can attach it that way. You could add a jump ring to it. If you want to put your chain directly on it, then I'm going to have it sitting front ways. So I've just made this shape. I'm going to bring that wire around, and I'm just going to, again, I'm just using my fingers, but you can use your tools. But this wire is nice and soft. I'm just going to wrap a couple of times, and I've created my little wrap loop so I can put my pendant in. Now don't worry, you can bend this up and down and you can manipulate it. What I'm going to do, just to give it that extra sturdiness, is this wire now I'm going to bring back through that drill hole. I think it was something like 2 millimeters in size. So every time I've done this, it's gone through, no problem. This one's going to decide not to, isn't it? Let me just get that wire through. There's something stopping it in the middle. Oh, typical of all the stones I've picked up. Right, let me just, you don't have to do this bit, but I want to. So I'm going to be quite forceful with it because I don't know what is stopping that coming out the bottom. Let me just, right, if I hold that to the side, straighten up my wire. There we go. Let me just get a bit of purchase on that. Slide that back through. So I'm just going to reposition to make sure that that's now in place. I've been quite forceful on that. So I brought that wire back through. I'm going to make sure my bail is nicely in position. Straighten it up if I need to. So this wire's come back through the stone, so there's nothing on the back side of it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to bring it through the little bottom of the loop on the treble clef, like so. And that will then just lock it into place. Pull that round. I can now trim this off. I'm going to do another one for you because I'm going to show you how easy it is to do. And I feel like I've been rushing. And then just with that pair of pliers, I'm just going to tuck that little end in so it's kind of locked around the bottom. And then I can reposition to make sure my treble clef is nicely in the centre and flat against that stone. Now if I want to, I can hammer that treble clef as well. I wouldn't do it when it's on the stone, I'd do it before I brought it through. If you wanted to bring, instead of bringing the wire back through, you could bring it, I brought it round and then I brought it back up the top instead of cutting it off like I've done at the bottom here. So it's still attached, but then I've brought it up, instead of cutting it, I brought it up back round the back of it, and then I've made a little spiral on the top. So should we do the rose quartz? And should I use the rose coloured wire? I promise you it is the easiest thing to do. I'm sorry I've rushed through and maybe not as explained it as much. Sheila's asked, did you use the donut to make the guitar? I did indeed, but again, you could use something like this. You could use any shape you wanted to. So I've just straightened out my wires really quickly. Cut in 30 centimetres or 12 inches. You won't need that much regardless of what stone you've got. I can draw it out if I want to, so draw a little bit of a frame or just a treble clef, so I've got a kind of visualization of what it's going to look like. I'm going to take the very, very tip of my wire between my round nose and I'm going to give it a little turn. Just to make that spiral a bit more perfect, I'm just going to trim the tiniest amount off, just where that flat part of my spiral is. And I'm going to kind of tuck it in on itself. And I'm just gradually curving that round and then start to use my fingers because I don't want that spiral to be tight. I want it to kind of open out essentially. The wire then goes up. I'm going to start to curve that back round. You can use your fingers or you can use your round nose, whichever you prefer. If you just want to get a little kind of shape to it, I just know I'm going to hold it round there and bring it back round. So I'm making that loop. Hold it against my stone and see if I need to make it a bit smaller. Then I'm just going to bring it further on down that loop. And again, if you want to, you could use your bail step plier here if you think I like the shape of that circle or that curve. You can open it out and you can run it around there. Now I want this wire to come flat around the back. I think I'm fairly happy with that. Again, you can make it, keep adjusting it, keep popping it against your stone so you've got the size that you're happy with. I want that loop to touch the top of the stone and then I'm going to make a little curl just below. So I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, just curve that around. So it's very organic in its shape. You can, trace your wire around a picture if you want. When you're happy with the position that you've got, I'm just going to bend that wire so it runs through. So going from the underneath to the top of my stone, I'm going to hold it in place so I can gauge that it's nice and flat. So I'm going to put my thumb on top of my treble clef because I don't want that to move too much out of position. I'm going to take this wire and I'm just bringing it through the loop. So I don't need any weaving wire. I can just attach it together to secure the stone by bringing it through the loop here and then bend it backwards. So again, I've got that nice and tight. That's not moving. It's not falling out. It's going to hold it in place with very minimal weaving or wrapping. Sheila says she's going to catch up later. She's meeting with the grandchildren and going to a fruit farm to pick our own pumpkins and to carve for the weekend. Should be fun. Have so much fun, Sheila. That sounds amazing. Okay, now to make the bail however you want to, I'm bringing that wire back over my stone. Again, I'm just using the round nose for this. I position it like this so I can get a bend. So that little space here that's formed between where that wire bends and the stone, that can be where I wrap my loop. So then I reposition my pliers. Going to think about how large I'd like that bail to be and then bring it right round, reposition my hand, keeping my round nose pliers in to keep that shape, and I'm just going to wrap it round, I'd say about 2 or 3 times, Again, you can turn it if you would like it to sit that way. You can sit it whichever way you want to. And then either bring it round the back of the stone if you prefer. You could just put a little curl in front of that now if you wanted to. It will be held in place, but I think it gives it a little bit more rigidity if I then slide that wire. See how easy that wire goes back through the stone? I don't know what was going on with the pre-night before. It was just user error. It was my fault. I'm holding on to that treble clef still. And then just going to guide that wire so my bail sits nice and upright. If I want to reposition my treble clef, I'm going to get this curl here to go underneath that back wire. So I'm just going to slide it. If you bring that up a little bit, you can use your pliers if you need to get a little bit of a purchase on that, just to slide it under. And that's going to hold it in place. And then bring that back round again so that curl is on the top. Just give your bail a little straighten up if need be. And then you can do what you want with this wire. You can bring it round. So it goes underneath that loop. Just guiding it round with my finger. So I've locked it in place. And then I can now trim off and it's ready to go. If you want to add more of a decoration, you can bring that wire back up the back of the stone. And then you can wrap it again around the bail and then make a little curl on it if you want to. So to curl it, I'm going to give it a little straighten out. I'm going to cut it because I don't need it to be that large. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm just going to start curling that around. Again, if you want to get rid of the flat bit, trim a little tiny bit off and then continue to curl around with my round nose. And then when it curls in on itself, you can take another pair of pliers, you can use your fingers, you can use your nylon coated if you want to. Just going to start with little flicks of my wrist. Might use these ones. Just to start curling that in. And then you can add a little bit more detail on the front of that just to cover your bail. Yolanda says, do you have a video on the first time jewellery making on what tools and what products to start off with? I don't know whether we do. It depends on the type of jewellery you want to make, Yolanda. For me, if it's wire, you need any pair of round nose pliers. If you're using memory wire, because it's tempered steel, you're going to want some very durable cutters. You're not going to want to use the cutters like these ones, which are your flush cutters on a stainless tempered steel like memory wire, because they will put nicks and dints in it. So if you're using that, get some heavy duty kind of toolbox ones. Any other wire work you're doing, you're going to need round nose, a pair of cutters, chain nose are always handy. Bail step pliers or 6-step bail pliers like these are often very handy for shaping exactly the same uniform loops if you ever need to do that. These are, I would say, probably the most important for me personally. This straightens out, I mean, you can see how battered they are. I mean, missing a screw, and you can take these tips off and replace the tips. Like, that's cracked and all sorts. I do need to put my new tips on, but that straightens out the wire for me, and also I can do certain things with them. That means I'm not going to nick any wires. I've also got bent nose, which aren't necessity, but very, very handy if you want to get into like little fiddly sections of it or whatever. And a ruler. Ruler's always helpful. Iris says, you make it look so easy. I'm going to have to watch a few times before I make an attempt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you a treble clef and I'm going to hammer it just so you can see the difference. I'm going to use this gorgeous coloured wire this time. I'm still going to cut my 30 centimetres. See, like, I'll have made 3, and like, I know I'm rushing through it, but I don't think it needs that much. It's explaining, it's literally just having fun and kind of playing with it. Now I'm using this coloured wire, and I want to show you the difference that you can do when you start to hammer it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hammer on camera with much force, because I'd probably knock everything over and that'd be a disaster. If I'm going to hammer it, I've got a tiny little block and a tiny little hammer, and it's really straightforward to do and quite fun as well. So I'm starting to curl that. If you do hammer it, it will give more of a flatter finish to parts. So this is the one I've just made now. You can see that's more rounded, but it will harden your wire as well, so it can give it a little bit more rigidity. So I'm just curling that round with my fingers. What one have I got left? Oh, I did the blue lace first. I haven't done the pre-night, have I? Right, okay, well, we'll maybe go for this one. I'm just curling that round. So I've made my inner spiral. This is quite a long one, so I can afford to do a bigger one. I think I'd like that to be a bit more turned in. Okay. Made a little mini one now. Yeah, that'll do. So when I've brought that wire around the back, obviously if I hammer on top of this, because that wire is running underneath, that's going to kind of affect how I've hammered it. If I want to hammer it completely flat, I'm just going to flick it up like this, and then I can place that against my block. Let me just fix that. So I'm just going to now hold it against my block, a few little taps. And you can see this is tarnish resistant wire, so like none of the colours come off that at all. It's a lot harder now in terms of its kind of rigidity, but I've also managed to put that lovely kind of flat shape to it. I still think I'd like to keep this part curved and rounded. I'm just going to flatten that bit out. And I'm happy with the size. Again, I'm just going to place it against it and think, well, I want that little loop to be around here. I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to make a little loop. So that kind of looks like the little, I don't know what the names of the treble clef are called, but that little base part to it. And then bend it back. I'm now going to slide that wire through the stone, and I'm going to position it to where it's nice and flat. If I want to now, before I join them together, if it's easier, I'm just going to flick that round so it's held in place. I'm going to bend that wire coming out the top of the stone, and I'm going to just thread it through the top of my treble clef. Bring that back up. Check I'm happy with the positioning and the shape of it. And then make my bail. So again, just going to hold that flat so it's nice and close to the stone. Bring it over and over again. Keeping my round nose or my bail step pliers in. Wrapping round about 3 times. So I'm holding it in place. Taking that wire back through now the top of the stone. all the way through, so my bail is sitting nicely at the top. And then I can do what I want with this wire to decorate it. If you want to keep the back plain and clean, then I'm going to just take the wire again underneath the base. I'm just keeping my finger on the front of it just to hold it in place so there's no major movements while I'm guiding that wire around. Made a little loop at the bottom, come in with my cutters, trim nice and close, and you can tuck that end back into the drill hole if you want to, or just give it a little squish to make sure it's flat and secure. Run your finger over it if you need to make sure nothing's catching, and then just reposition to straighten up my little bail loop, making sure I'm happy with it all. And there it is, as quick as a flash, my gorgeous musical melody pendants. Now don't forget, you've got a choice of beautiful stones. We've got Amazonite for you to choose. We've got the gorgeous pink tourmaline. We've got a beautiful rose quartz. We've got the blue lace agate. We have got the Madagascar rose quartz, and we've got the prehnite. They vary slightly in price depending on which one you choose. You can choose from 3 beautiful colour remain wires in a 0.8. I'm using 1 length and 1 gauge of wire, so that's 0.8, which I think is 20 gauge. Ooh, guessing now. And yeah, about 30 centimeters or 12 inches of that. There is a buy 2, so buy your wire, buy your stone, and you're getting 15% off if you buy any 2, and that's going to last till the end of this month. Iris says they're lovely. Star says great tutorial, thank you Natalie. Tracy says these are lovely, thanks Natalie. Yolanda says thank you so much for your tutorial. Making that will be a challenge. I promise you Yolanda, it won't. You're getting so much wire on your reels. If it goes wrong, just start again. The hardest thing is just learning how to shape your treble clef. Have fun with it, and don't feel you have to do a treble clef on it. You could do a heart shape, you could do just any kind of spirally twist and pattern. You could do whatever you want, but having the drill hole in that stone means I can secure my stone in place with just one. Look how thick and chunky that one is. That's gorgeous. It's really straightforward for you to do. Thank you so much, Mina, for sharing the link. Apologies from myself. That says Meloggy. It is the Melody Wire Wrap Pendant. If you need to just click on a link, click on this one. If you're going to go on the website, you'll see them. You'll know what they are. Mina says they're beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be back with you on the 10th. I'm going to show you a little sneaky peek of what I'm making. I can't wait to do these with you. I'm going to be making earrings with these gorgeous, lovely mix of flowers. They've got like a rosy, goldy colour for you. You've got silvers. They're just lovely. I'm going to be showing you how to make the frame, how to wrap all of those beauties on, and they're just so lovely. So I think that's the 10th when I'm back with you. Feels like ages away. I have planned lots of gorgeous tutorials running throughout November and almost up to Christmas, so please come and join me if you can do. Just because I'm not here though next week doesn't mean that everyone else is going on a jolly box. You can join Kitty and the lovely Laura. I think Laura's with you on Monday and she's got some gorgeous bracelets to do, so please come and join them as well. Iris says I can't wait, and Star says they're cute. I hope you all have a really lovely Halloween or Samhain or whatever it is you're celebrating. If you're in the UK and you are having a bonfire night, then keep safe, keep your pets safe indoors, and just have a lovely, lovely weekend and a lovely week ahead. I'll miss you very, very much, but you know me, I'm going to be watching. Wi-Fi permitting, I'm still going to be with you, so you'll probably see me in the comments. You can't keep me away. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you very